Welcome. This is the Commissioner's Corners podcast. Today is February 15th, and this is episode number 33. As always, we are presented by web3ks.com. Check out web3ks.com for your webpage, social media, and all your other affordable graphic needs. Once again, that's web3ks.com. Bomber, we have a great show tonight as we're going to debate who the MBL Season 29 MVP should be, the upcoming game, MBL Live, Jaguars versus Titans. This game is huge. It's for the division, and then we're going to talk about our picks to win the MBL Super Bowl this season. Bomber, how excited are you for episode 33 tonight?
I'm excited for this episode, but more importantly, I'm excited for Jacksonville Jaguars, Tennessee, not Titans. I think they're going to be little people today. Definitely not Titans. Maybe more like Titanfall. Titanfall, that should have been the name of this episode that's coming up on MBL Live, because the Titans are about to fall tonight, just like that video game that came out that nobody even talks about anymore. But I'm excited about that game. We got a lot of things to talk about. Our Super Bowl predictions, our NFC, AFC predictions. Man, it's going to be an impactful show. But more importantly, I got my Jaguars colors on tonight, because you know who I'm rooting for. Jacksonville Jaguars. If you didn't know, if you didn't catch on the fact that I'm wearing, Jaguar colors, Jacksonville. That's it.
Well, thank you.
Well, who you got?
Thank you for the gorgeous description of what you're wearing there. I'm sure our viewers definitely love that at home. So that's right. We've got a huge game tonight, and that's leading right into our first topic. This is the Commission Corners podcast game of the week, and that's the Jaguars versus the Titans. This is an upcoming game on MBL Live. It's going to be coming on at 8 p.m. tonight. And this is such an important game because right now the Jaguars are sitting at 10-5. The Titans are 9-6. This is for the division. The Jaguars, I believe, are in even if they would lose. The Titans, if they lose, they are out. So this is a huge game for the Titans. A little bit different game for the Jaguars, but they do want to win this game because it would be an epic, historical MBL moment for these Jaguars to win the division, take it from Sonny Weaver. And we're going to see some great football tonight because Sonny's got a whole bunch of different things that he's desperately going to throw onto the table to try to win this game.
And are we going to ignore the graphics that are on the screen right now? Commissioner Corner podcast getting an upgrade. Guys, if you subscribe to our twitch.tv/MBL network, that is where the game's going to be at tonight. But if you subscribe and give your $4.99 per month, you're going to see an improved quality and content on all of our shows across all platforms. Big shout out to Hop behind the scenes pulling the strings. That is a very nice. Is this what y'all are setting up?
Yes. We had this. We had a lot of hands on deck for this. We really wanted that authentic feel. We wanted it to look like these shows that you watch in real life. We put this together, but most importantly, a huge shout out to Hop pulling the strings, helping get this together. He also had help from Kyle, Sonny, and even JY on the show tonight. A lot of hands went into this, and this is going to be something that is going to be custom to each show that we do on Commissioner Corner. You got the rolling ticker at the bottom talking about this is the Commissioner Corner podcast. You got the MBL Live game tonight, and then the graphics going to flow and move as the show goes on. A lot of work went into this, and I'm so proud of it. I appreciate all the guys that helped work on this because it really makes this feel like a real show, and we continue to grow and take steps forward all together.
Yeah, I absolutely love it. I actually was in the dark about this, what was going on, so I'm kind of surprised right now, and I think I need to take the lead back on this show because you got a broadcast that looks like this. You need the best. You need the king to come in here styling and profiling, and that's what I'm going to do, Lip. I think I need to retake back over the show, guys. Hashtag Bomber Takeover if you guys want to.
Hop and I got it. We're doing great.
All right. Well, I'll take a back seat then, man. All right, so what do we got next? We're talking Jags, Titans tonight. Do you want me to give score predictions? What do you want me to talk about here? The Jacksonville Jaguars defeated the Tennessee Titans last time they played with Jamuria Wooden. Whatever that guy's name is. I don't know what his name is. I just know Daniel Shirley's out, and the guy that didn't win the Wooden Award because he didn't even play college basketball. He played college football for the University of Kansas, which is a basketball program, drafted in the 4th round in MBL Season 28 rookie draft. Early 4th round pick at that. Throw power is 84. but he can make the throws. I mean, we've seen him make some pretty impressive throws today. QBR high on the season came against Houston at home. Week 15, they won by 1 point. He had a 135 QBR. Week 14, he had an 87 QBR, but that was good enough. 8 for 12. They won 20-17 against the Tennessee Titans. I think tonight, I'm going out on a limb. I say Jacksonville wins by another 1-point game, and that will make a 1-point victory. In the last 3 weeks, I think it's going to be 21-20, Jacksonville over Tennessee. I know they're on the road. It's going to be tough, but how sweet would it be for them to limp into the playoffs? And I say limp in, but limp past the division winner of the last 3 years, the Tennessee Titans, and kind of limp into the number 2 spot and get a bye in the AFC. I mean, how incredible is that?
Well, I think that could be crucial to the upcoming playoffs. If the Jaguars get that spot, that'd be really beneficial for them in the playoffs. We're going to talk about that a little bit later, but a couple weeks ago on this show, I said that this stretch would be so important to the Jaguars, and they had to make a decision. They had to gut check themselves, make sure that they really wanted to be here, and they did exactly all the things that they had to do. They had a tight game against the Lions, and then they went on that run like you talked about. They beat the Raiders, and then they got that huge win against the Titans, 1-point wins versus the Texans and Ravens, and now the time is here. Everything that we talked about with this team, the time is now, and tonight is one of the most epic games that we're going to see because of who Sonny Weaver is, who this Titans organization is. They are absolutely falling apart. The Jaguars are coming back strong. This game's going to be really good, and this is where the Jaguars can really land that punch and knock Sonny all the way down, because that's going to kick him out of the playoffs completely, and that is something that Sonny's going to say he's used to, but he's going to be below that 10-6 mark, so I think it's going to eat at him. I think it's really going to be tough because he talks so much crap on his division, and now he might not even make the playoffs.
Yeah, well, we could talk about the 10-6 thing all day because, to me, 10-6, for the way that this guy talks and he holds his team to this prestigious Mount Rushmore of the MBL, I think he thinks he's one of the 4 faces on there. I mean, to say the 10-6 is what his staple of him taking over a team, him running a team, that's what they shoot for, that's what they are, and we've just accepted it as a viewer because we've heard it so much. I think that's why I call him the underachiever, Sonny Weaver, because 10-6 to me with this team, with this Tennessee Titan team, who I believe is loaded at nearly every position on the field, they're a 93 overall. A 93 overall. You want to put that into some kind of perspective right now? The Minnesota Vikings are an 86 overall team. Okay? The Los Angeles Chargers, who are 16-0, are a 93 overall team. The 92 overall Detroit Lions are 14-2. 10-6 cannot be the answer. It cannot be something that we just hang our hat on in Tennessee. And it might be something that's just taken away tonight by the future, soon-to-be AFC South champion Jacksonville Jaguars. I made my prediction earlier, 21-20, but I see that happening tonight. Big upset. So what do we got left on the Commissioner Corner podcast? What's the next topic?
Well, right now we're going to move into this MVP talk. The season is wrapping up. I think we'll actually be done with it tonight. We're going to move into the wild card. We got a whole special, I think maybe over a week of playoff action. It's going to be the most epic week of MBL playoffs we've ever had, but we've got to talk about who's going to be the MVP. And a lot of people have overlooked one person because of the dominance of one guy, but we're going to see if we can make a case for a best number 2, or maybe even a number 1. We're going to be talking about Melvin Gordon, the 2,000-yard man. And we're going to be talking about Jack Gerberry, the leader of those Vikings that you were talking about, having a great season, 13-3, a rookie quarterback. Now, is it a ridiculous question to say that these two are competing for the MVP, or has Melvin Gordon completely locked it down? He had it locked down long before today.
Yeah, Melvin Gordon is 100% a runaway, no pun intended. I think Gerberry on any other year, he'd definitely be in the discussion. But as I said earlier, Melvin Gordon, MG2K, is essentially the runaway for this. I said that, I'm repeating myself. Hollywood Sports, shout out to you. But Melvin Gordon is the Russell Westbrook of the NBL, what Russell Westbrook was to the Oklahoma City Thunder last season. I think he's putting on that kind of performance, and just when we think he's going to slow down and no way he can keep the pace up, where's the health concerns going to come into play? He stayed healthy, Lip, 255 carries. That's a cycle high. 2,101 yards. We already know that's a high, and 26 touchdowns to finish the season out. I mean, a tremendous MBL season 29 for Melvin Gordon. He is the definite 100% unanimous MVP in my mind. I just don't see anybody really taking that from him.
Yeah, I think that the 2,000 yards is extremely impressive. I love it. But I at least want to give a little bit of the spotlight. He might not win it, but like you said, any other year might have been, the guy. Playing the quarterback position is very tough. Playing the quarterback position as a rookie is even tougher. He came in and started this season against the Saints, 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions. The next week against Detroit, no touchdowns, no interceptions. And in his third game against Green Bay, no touchdowns, 3 interceptions. And that's the kind of season that you kind of expect from a rookie right out of the gate. He's not a bust. He's not a star right away. But then he goes on to have this 36 touchdown, 15 interception season, 126 quarterback rating. I definitely think it's worth mentioning because it is the quarterback position and it is a rookie quarterback. Because you remember a few seasons ago, Davis Webb had such an amazing season, lit the league on fire with the stats that he put up as a rookie. Now he's completely fallen off, and this is the other side of this MVP race. I've got to make sure that Gerberry does not fall off like Davis Webb did, because that is a long and terribly, it's hard to look at. It's hard to watch. We've talked about it before. It is really hard to watch the fall of Davis Webb. Don't want it to happen to Gerberry.
Yeah, I don't think it will happen over there. I think Gerberry is going to get it together. Webb was 3,808 yards, 36 touchdowns, 17 interceptions on a team that kind of came out of nowhere. But there wasn't a 2,000-yard rusher. There wasn't a 26-touchdown rusher that season. There wasn't really anybody outside of Ben Roethlisberger, who just had about 100 yards short in a time where Webb led the league in passing yards, and he was number 2 in QBR. That's just not even the case this year for Gerberry, especially in QBR. And while he does have a great QBR, I think he should just be happy with Rookie of the Year, and probably he's going to win that NFC Quarterback Award. Right now, he's second in the league in yards. Not really separated himself from the pack as far as yards go. He's attempted more passes than 3 of the top 5 guys. Had a great year, though. Touchdowns 36. That leads the league. I mean, phenomenal. Now, if he would have had, been number 1 seed in the NFC, and maybe he threw for close to 5,000 yards, and then maybe I start
touchdowns.
Saying, yeah, I would have to see 40 plus, maybe 45 touch. Maybe if he broke the passing touchdown record. Can someone look that up for us on 365.maddenbomberleague.com? Tell us who that is.
Plug.
Who's got that the passing yards, the passing touchdown, and maybe he came close to yards. He don't have to break 5,000, but over 4,500 yards, and he has to break a touchdown passing or yards passing, and then I say, okay, we've never seen 2,000 yards rushing before. Have we, Lip? I mean, in the MBL, never.
Absolutely not.
Absolutely not. This is looking at a unicorn right now. We've never seen it before. We've heard about it. We just never seen one, and now we're seeing one. So I think he was a great quarterback who had a great season, and I think he's going to be a great quarterback. I think he's still, improving right now, but I think this guy's been phenomenal. I think Rookie of the Year, he might be the best Rookie of the Year we had this Madden cycle, but MVP, I don't think he's really there yet right now to take it away from Melvin Gordon. Now, if Melvin Gordon only had 1,400 yards and 26 touchdowns, we'd have a debate, and I'd probably lean towards Gerberry as they finished 13-3 through his arm and his leadership, because we didn't see Dalvin Cook very much this year show out to be that dominant running back that he was in the seasons past.
Yeah, they definitely went with that first round, the early pick quarterback. I think he was taken 7th overall, 6th overall. Really put their faith in this guy, and I think that it's extremely important that we recognize that. But obviously, Melvin Gordon has had the unbelievable season, and you're not going to take that away. So we're going to get into some Super Bowl predictions because, Bomber, we know this is week 17.
I think we're also missing out on talking. We're talking Gerberry and Gordon. Real quick, I want to plug Russell Wilson. He had a very nice season. I know he's not in the MVP category because both of those guys, kind of what Wilson is to Gerberry, Gordon actually probably a little bit more distance from Gerberry, but same kind of space between. It's a very distant third. Russell Wilson, 3,500 passing yards, 26 touchdowns, 6 interceptions. Only 6 interceptions. You want to talk about a game manager? 127 QBR. Another phenomenal.
We were killing this dude in this contract.
And he's living up. It took a while. The pressure kind of got off him, as the spotlight kind of shifted. And when the spotlight shifted off of Russell Wilson, it's almost like he's better, more able to perform better when the pressure kind of got off him. I mean, when you get a contract like that, what was it, $150, $160 million, with 63 guaranteed. Russell Wilson was living under that spotlight, and he had 2 of his worst seasons in the MBL with a 77 QBR in MBL season 27, MBL season 28. He came out with an 81.9 with a 23 touchdown to 26 interception ratio. Not good at all. So that was back-to-back seasons where his touchdowns were less than his interceptions. Then this year he comes out 26 touchdowns, 6 interceptions, 127 QBR, and Russell Wilson is cooking at 31 years young. I think he definitely deserves to be in the conversation, per se, right now. And I don't think he's even close to Gerberry or Gordon. Just thought I'd bring him up. But let's continue to move along. What do we got next?
So those first 2 seasons, he had not really good touchdown-interception ratios, and they were able to have a lot of success in the playoffs. Now they're having a really good year. I believe number 2 seed in the NFC. So we're going to watch them see if they can pull another great playoff run out of their bag of tricks. But we're going to move on to our playoff predictions. It's week 17. That's going to wrap up tonight, and we're going to head into the playoffs. Now, how this is going to work, I'm going to give my prediction for the AFC and the NFC, and then I'm going to pitch it over to Bomber. He's going to give his prediction, and then we're going to come back to who we think is going to win each of our matchups. I'm going to start right now, and this is a good transition because I'm going out of the NFC. I am actually taking the Seahawks, and it's because of the play of Russell Wilson. That touchdown and interception ratio, 26 and 6, is just so impressive. And when you look at how, not bad, but how very average he was the first couple seasons that they had a lot of success in a Super Bowl run, I think now that he's playing that much better, he can really get it done. That sets him up for a playoff run. And from the AFC, I have a wild prediction, but there's a good explanation behind it. And it's all going to start tonight. It's going to start in about half an hour, 8 o'clock on MBL Live. The Jaguars are going to win this game. They are going to be the 2nd seed in the AFC, and that's crucial to this run because they're not going to be able to put multiple games together, so they need that bye. They get that bye, and that's the team. I don't think the Chargers can do it because of the perfect season. I think the Browns are way too lucky, and then I don't think the other teams in the AFC really have a chance. So I'm really bought into the Jags, and that bye is a crucial point to this run. So I have the Jaguars against the Seahawks. We're going to get into who I think is going to win that game after Bomber gives his predictions. But right now, I have from the AFC the Jaguars and from the NFC the Seahawks.
Well, if you bought into the Jacksonville Jaguars in the playoffs, I hope you kept your receipt lip because you're going to need it. You're going to be returning that very quickly. Use Jaguars championship uniforms, however they want to staple that. You're definitely going to be returning that to their team website because that's not going to happen. Let me give you my predictions right now. Before I do it, let me preface this with we weren't allowed to select ourselves because if we were, I would have said Lions AFC, Lions NFC, winner Detroit, Honolulu Blue does it again, 7-time lucky 7. But we weren't allowed to do that. So I want to preface it with that also. The perfect season has never been done before. But first, I want to give out, and that's a perfect 16-0. We've had 3 16-0 seasons, Lip. You remember who they were?
Me, you, and Gub.
Oh, it's actually 4 now. It was 3 before this year. You want to try again?
No, I don't know who the other is.
It was Bomber, and Lip. And
you told me one time. You told me one time that you had 5 perfect seasons.
Hey, man. 14-2 feels like a perfect season. You know what I mean? Sometimes perfect is subjective, and sometimes they all start feeling kind of perfect. Yes, but it's never been done to go 16-0 and win in the playoffs. Something always happens. We saw it earlier. Lip, your Steelers melted down against the New England Patriots. I don't even know where that performance came from. Yeah. Arguably one of your worst playoff performances of all time. But it's because you go 16-0, and that's a curse. But the NFC, I'm going with the No, Deca. Seattle Seahawks. Put it on the board. I'm going with Kyle. because, I mean, I like the Seattle Seahawks, and I ain't picking the Vikings. I'm not going to pick them. I'm not going to pick them. So I went the Seattle Seahawks in the NFC. We got that on the board. AFC, I said perfect season has never been done. 16-0, you can't win in the playoffs. You're not coming to the Super Bowl, and that's why I selected I threw you for a loop. I actually did go with the Los Angeles Chargers. Gimme Gub, Champions Club. Here we go. It's going to be the Seattle Seahawks, Los Angeles Chargers, and if the Seahawks can win that game, he's gonna put in his application to be in the Champions Club, because to get into the Champions Club, you got to be the Champions Club member in the playoffs and win the Super Bowl. So I'm gonna see his application coming up soon. But go ahead and give your Super Bowl prediction right now, Lip.
So for the Champions Club, you have to have a perfect 16-0 season too. So it's just gonna stay me and Gub for right now. But the reason I'm going to continue to roll with this team is just, they aged a lot. We thought it was over. They had something happen where they completely revitalized this side of the ball. The defense, #1 in yards, #1 in pass defense, that's going to completely suffocate the Jaguars. I'm going with the Seattle Seahawks to win the Super Bowl. They're back. They've got the defense firing on all cylinders. Russell Wilson is a completely new man, playing like the contract he got. Just absolute lights out on both sides of this ball for the Seattle Seahawks. So that is going to be my Super Bowl winner. Kyle's going to take it home, but he's not getting in the Champions Club.
I can imagine how nervous the owner of the Jacksonville Jaguars Unisolated would be if he was in the Super Bowl. That would be something I'd want to watch. His palms would be sweaty, probably eating his mom's spaghetti. Big shout out if you can name that song right now in the chat. I know Hop knows it because he's a secret fan of this artist, and he probably listens to him when he's doing his midnight streams at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Guys, my Super Bowl prediction is going with the new champ. No, it's going to go with the Los Angeles Chargers. Sorry, Kyle, you're not getting in the Champions Club. It's just not meant to be. You got to beat one of us and win the Super Bowl. It's not going to happen. Your application will be denied. Once again, I'm going with the Los Angeles Chargers for the first ever perfect season of all time, and it couldn't happen to a better guy. And that would be his second championship if he won.
That's a bold prediction because we know that curse is... That curse is... we could probably do a whole show on our experiences with that curse. And then if something total meltdown happens with Gub, the curse is a lock for sure, no doubt, because that thing is wicked. It is tough to deal with. But we could even see our predictions here, the Seahawks versus the Chargers, and that would be a great game as well. So I'm very excited. And like I said, we get the playoffs for a long week here. We're going to be having our Super Bowl next weekend on the 24th. So we're going to have a whole week of playoff action. So I'm very excited, but like I said, it starts tonight, MBL Live. Sorry, MBL Live starts tonight, 8 p.m. The Titans and the Jaguars. It's going to be an epic game. I'm so excited for it, but we're moving into the Crossfire section of the show. You guys know what it is. Get your questions in the chat. Hop's going to give them to us, and then we're just going to roll for it. So, Bomber, do you want to lead the Crossfire section? Would you like that gift, my friend? Oh, Bomber is muted, so don't know where he went. But okay, best fit for AJ Baggs. Hop, do you know who AJ Baggs is? Oh, Hop says he's looking. Okay, I'm moving on, Hop. You're too slow for me. All right, Hop. Another question. 49ers best chance in the playoffs. That's going to be tough. I like the 49ers. I think that they can win a couple games. I think that they're a little bit out as far as experience. I do believe October one time took the Texans to the NFC Championship. I don't remember who they played. So I think that he's got some experience there, but I think that there needs to be a little bit more development on both sides of the ball for those 49ers. They've kind of fell into a little bit of a hole late in the season. I'm not sure what's going on there, but I definitely see them winning a game. I think that if they play the current seeding, they play the Giants, Hop, you're right. I think that they can win that game. Where it goes from now, from there, you have Detroit and Seattle waiting with those bye weeks. Those are two very tough, inexperienced teams. And then of course, you have the Vikings out there at 13-3, so it's going to be a very tough road in the NFC.
Yeah, if they can get past the Giants, though, I just want to point out the Giants did lose to the Washington Redskins in the first round of the playoffs 2 seasons ago, so they aren't immune to kind of playing down to their competition, or maybe playing a home game in which everyone feels like they're going to win, and they come out and they take the L. We've seen that happen with this New York Giants club before, and a lot of people are kind of skeptical. They think this San Francisco 49ers team is a little sneaky, and maybe their lack of playoff, they don't have many teams that have playoff years they played in. What am I trying to say? All right, they don't have many players that have that playoff experience, but the San Francisco 49ers have been playing so bad. Maybe they catch one game where just everything goes their way and they kind of refine that magic that they had when they started 8-0.
Yeah, it's tough because you've got a lot of young players. They're going to be thrown into some. Oh, it's going to be tough with some of the teams in the NFC. It's going to be crazy. Which team must have a great offseason this year? This is a tough question. I want to say the Green Bay Packers because they're so close. They had a great offseason last year. They did so well in the draft. I think that team, if they're right on the verge, they're right on the edge of being a team that can make a run in the playoffs. They just need one more good offseason. They had one good one last year. They need one good offseason this year. Draft and free agency is going to be big. That could push them over the line. From the AFC, I would look at the Chiefs. They're 9-7. They've had good seasons the past couple of years. They're just right outside the brink. They play in one tough division with the Chargers, Raiders, and Broncos. Every team 500 or better. That's going to be very tough. But I think that those are two teams that are one off season away from actually getting into the playoffs and then making a run. Moving on, will Starr's luck run out? Hop. It's got to, right? It has to run it. It's just been... It's been unbelievable, the breaks that Starr has caught, and he refuses to acknowledge them. I think maybe one he acknowledged, but we look at this run, it goes back to a pass interference in Week 9, and then in Week 14 on MBL Live, he got Timbo lateral the ball backwards on a walk-in touchdown, and then the following week, in Week 15, he throws a ball right at a defender, and the defender makes no, he's just blind, no attempt at the ball. And then Week 17, didn't need the win because I had just blown the whole season out of the water. But an overtime win, there's got to be an end to this lucky streak. I don't understand how he gets so lucky. I say that he drinks leprechaun blood, but I'm not really sure exactly. Yeah, Timbo, way to remind me. Yeah, trust me, I have relived those incredibly lucky moments for Starr so many times, and I just keep seeing them. Every time the dude's on NBL Live, I just keep seeing them, and it's just terrible to watch. Porter's asking, will the Redskins ever be good? Porter, you're already good. That's coming from me, who could not surpass you Week 17. I don't want to talk about it. Just a terrible, terrible, terrible game. A good game by you, and you got the win. AJ Baggs, top quarterback in the draft. Who needs him? This is tough because a lot of teams have a quarterback that they kind of maybe believe in. But it's hard because I don't really believe in some of the quarterbacks that some of these teams have. So very tough to decide, especially I want to say the Bills, but I think that they have a guy, Travis Bowman. He's only been in the league 2 years, 12 touchdowns, 27 interceptions. He's been in the league 3 years. I just don't think this guy's going to develop. The Bills have shown that they've had talent, to win divisions.
So we're talking who needs a quarterback? Los Angeles Rams.
The Bills.
Right off the bat. No, the Rams. Trevor Siemian is not the guy. Yeah. Sam Bradford's not the guy. The most obvious thing to say right now is who needs a quarterback it's the Los Angeles Rams without a question. I actually think Josh Dobbs was kind of the answer for the Indianapolis Colts. I know he suffered an injury in Week 9, but he was an 8-touchdown, 12-interception, 10-touchdown, 14-interception the year before. He's been getting a lot of throws, and then they're pretty excited and happy with him right now, so I don't see the Colts going quarterback. The Broncos just drafted a guy in the first round about 3 seasons ago. MBL season 26, I believe, was Julius Stewart. He's still developing from the University of Clemson. Clemson University, excuse me. He was a top 5 pick, only 25 years old. So a lot of people got their quarterback slip, and that's what kind of makes it difficult right now to find out who needs a quarterback, who doesn't. Because a lot of teams that have lost and are continuing to lose have those young quarterbacks that they just invested a first-round pick into. You said the Bills. The Bills, I believe Bowman was a second-round selection. That could be a potential improvement they're trying to get for the quarterback position. But, you look at wide receiver with them, and it explains why they're doing so bad. They get a receiver like a guy like Pearson Cole, and they'll probably trade him next year. We've seen them trade wide receivers 2 seasons in a row. It might happen again. They take a second-round, third-round wide receiver, and then they flip them for another second or third round. They've just been funny, man. I've just seen them trade. They did it with the Jacksonville Jaguars, trading a speedy wide receiver that they developed. I think it was a 5th-round pick, and they ended up flipping him for a 4th round. So you see the Bills always making a lot of moves, but maybe at quarterback they decide to take Bowman out, 2nd-round pick, and try to draft a quarterback with him. I think what's going to be really intriguing for the draft, though, is who has the Atlanta Falcons 1st-round pick? The Denver Broncos. A lot of opportunity there. This was a Broncos team that drastically improved this season. A team that beat some good teams. Struggled against teams over 500, yes, but came away with the win or 2. I think they had a win against the Jets when they were 5-3. They finished the season 8-8 in a very tough division. That extra pick might be what kind of propels them into that number 2 spot, maybe in the AFC West.
And an interesting thing about Doug Brawl and this Broncos, I believe he said that he's improved. The Broncos have improved by 2 wins each season for the last 4 seasons. So next year, if they continue that trend, 10-6, that would put them in the talks for, if the Chargers had a major collapse in the division, I don't think that's going to happen, but that would put them in the talks for a wild card spot, and that would be a great build, a great project, and that would be great for that because I love seeing those progressive wins go up, and that's a good team to have that happen to. All
right, we got anything else for the final segment? Any more questions? Well, every top seed, man. I mean, is this coming from a guy that's not a top seed? All right, I understand. I know who asked the question too. I've always been under the impression if you're 1 or 2 and you got a bye week, you can't be one and done because you already made it past the first one. What you earned in the regular season. Top seed that could go down, I would see the Jacksonville Jaguars out of everyone's probably most likely if they hold on to that number 2 seed.
I feel like that I've already made my argument that the number 2 seed is a huge win for the Jaguars. Please do not let me down if you get that. But like I said, I think that 16-0 is going to hang over the Chargers. We've seen Carson Wentz not be that spectacular in the passing game. They really rely on the 2,000-yard man, Melvin Gordon. I just worry about those 16-0 teams going in the playoffs. I would definitely be on the lookout for that curse to come around for those Chargers. So that's kind of an easy one for me because I really believe in the other 2 teams from the NFC, Lions and the Seahawks. So the Chargers would probably be my pick in that regard.
No, we're good with it. It's fine. We roll it here. Guys, that's going to do it for the show. Lip, you want to go ahead and close us out on Commissioner Corner Podcast?
Yeah, this has been episode number 33. Thank you guys for hanging out. Once again, a huge shout out to Hop, Sonny, Kyle, JY for all of the graphic stuff on the show. We were really excited about this. We're going to continue to build this. It's a great show. We really have a lot of fun putting it together, and we really love all the guys coming out, hanging out with us once every 2 weeks. It's a really great thing for the league. And once again, huge game tonight, Titans versus Jaguars. It's going to be for the division, and I think it's going to set the road for the Jaguars in their playoff and Super Bowl run. Don't miss it. It's going to be 8 o'clock tonight on MBL Network. Going to be on Twitch, I believe. OSU's making the call. Don't miss it. It's going to be a great game. Once again, thank you for tuning in to the Commissioner Corner Podcast.